It's episode 310 of the Super League Pod, and it's Cup Final recap time. As is tradition, we've got a winning fan on to talk us through their day. We'll try to figure out when is a jump, and when is a guess okay. We also try to separate fan rant from professional statement. Spoiler, we're a fan show, so we can't. But strap in, put the sun cream on, it's SLP time. Hello listeners, welcome along to episode 310, or as it is, it's the 2021 Challenge Cup Final recap special. You have myself, Mark, and cards on the table. I wasn't at the Cup Final, but Alan, you were. So we'll be getting your insights on that, along with St Helens fan James, when we jump into the match reviews.
Yeah, I'd like to think I provide a little bit of balance, but I mean, you know, some people might call me a bias another way, but that's up to them.
That's it. Do you want to tell us about our episode sponsor, who is certainly biased towards great deals on eBay?
So this episode is sponsored by Rob's Toy Shop. You can find a wide range of toys, gifts, rugby league birthday cards and more at Rob's Toy Shop on eBay. Visit stores.ebay.co.uk/Rob's Toy Shop, and on any orders of £5 you can earn 5% cash back, and 1% of your order value will go into the SLP coffers, but only if you put SLP discount in at checkout.
Yep, great stuff. So it's only going to be a quick opening section tonight, because we've got lots of, obviously it's a cup final, we're going to talk plenty about what happened there, and there was some controversy. So, as is traditional, after a major final, we're going to lead with the match reviews. We've got a fan of the winning side to talk us through their experience, a fan who starts a father-son theme that will run all the way through to the quiz, Alan, just to mark your card on that. Then in news, it's the return of the chairman's statement, so we'll cover off recent criticism of the match review panel and RFL disciplinary processes that we've had. We'll recap everything else that's been going on too from around the world of rugby league in the last week. So the 1895 Cup will get a good chat. We'll float through the Super League games. We'll make our guesses. And Alan, there's new news to put into the rundown. Signings in Leeds and Wigan that we'll talk about too. So plenty to get to. So we'll give you a 7-second or so breather before we get into the Cup Finals match reviews.
So, as Mark said, a little bit of a different flavour or a different order to things this week, as it is a big match week. It was the Challenge Cup Final, with the biggest crowd that we've seen at a rugby league match for quite some time. It was St Helens 26, Castleford 12 at the end, although it was 12-6 to Cass at half-time. Liam Moore was the man in charge. In terms of stats, obviously limited stats with this being the Challenge Cup, but in terms of try scorers, for Saints we had Theo Farge, James Roby, potentially, and Tommy Makinson and Kyle Amor, maybe. Lachlan Coote definitely kicked 5 goals. And for Cass, all the points coming in the first half with tries from Niall Evalds, Jake Truman and Gareth O'Brien kicking 2 conversions.
Some of the media did put some of the stats out there, actually, and it was what you'd expect. You know, both hookers made quite a lot of tackles. Tommy Makinson made quite a lot of metres. The Saints forwards also, as the game went on, made a lot of metres. So I think Walmsley, LMS and Amor all went over 100, so yeah. So we probably would have been summing it up by saying Saints made a couple of hundred more metres at half a metre average gain, that sort of stuff probably.
Probably missed less tackles, you know, the usual stuff.
Yeah.
So first of all, we're going to go into a special fan view of somebody who was at the game, and we'll go to that now.
Right, so the first fan view we're going to get is our traditional cup final fan from the stands, winning fan. And as our resident St David isn't able to join us this week, we've actually gone with his son, James. So welcome aboard, James.
Hi guys, lovely to be here. I thought I'd step up to the plate since my dad's dereliction of duties this weekend after the final. So
there you go. Well, it's not like him to miss one of these St Helens celebration shows, but there you go. And actually, fathers and son is going to be a theme of this week's show. Not really on evidence in the Challenge Cup final, but some of the Super League games and stuff with Will Price getting his first try. So it suits the rest of the narrative this week, James. So obviously you were there on Saturday at the, I guess the biggest event rugby league has seen for some considerable time.
Yeah, it was, and it's the first game I've been back since we started back up, actually. So since pre-lockdown. So I was kind of really excited, but partially nervous about the size of the crowds and stuff like that. But actually, the way it was spread out around the stadium, the way all the fans acted, and it was a superb atmosphere. Felt really safe, and was a wonderful day. So yeah, it was great.
So tell us a little bit about the build-up. How early did you get down there, meeting up with your dad after his trip over from his caravan, and sort of what was it like down Wembley Way?
So we actually started off in the centre of London to meet with a few friends and my uncle as well, who's a big Saints fan. So we went to Borough Market in near London Bridge, which is a lovely little place with market stalls, and had a coffee and a bacon butty, which was swiftly followed by the first pint of the day. Before heading off into Wembley. So we got down to Wembley Way around kind of 12:30, 1 o'clock, to give us some time to kind of soak up the atmosphere. And it was phenomenally sunny and warm, so plenty of sun cream on there, but a really great atmosphere. Lots of fans of not only Saints and Cass, actually. I thought it might be more reserved to Saints and Cass given the lower capacity, but there was plenty of fans in all sorts of jerseys milling around, having a beer and some food, and generally building up the atmosphere with songs and the rest of it. So
I guess it didn't feel too dissimilar to a normal grand final, although a normal Challenge Cup final, although scaled down a little bit maybe. Yeah,
I think probably scaled down a little bit of an emptier Wembley Way. There was no, you get those great views, don't you, when you come out of the station sometimes at Wembley Park of the Wembley Way completely packed and people walking up to the stadium, and it was sparser than it would normally be. But there was still plenty of people there, but plenty of space, like I said before, for people to kind of pick a spot and socialise a little bit with the people that they were meeting up with. There was some tannoy announcements about there being some sort of fan park, and if you wanted to drink alcohol, you had to go to that fan park. But both fans, police, and stewards alike were sensible enough to see that was crackers, and everyone just had a beer or a wine or whatever their drink of the choice is, kind of outside of Wembley Way, but very
lager, cider, different people, different
all
drinks.
That, gin, the rest of it, yeah.
So, go on, Alan.
No, I was going to say that the fan park. So I could see the fan park, what they were talking about, when I actually got up onto the kind of the perimeter of the stadium. The kind of the circular kind of path you can kind of walk all the way around.
Yeah.
Obviously I was kind of up a bit earlier because I got in for the 1895 Cup final, but yeah, it was half empty. As you said, most people were using Wembley Way as they have come to use it. And yeah, when I was there, I was there a bit earlier. I was there about 11:30, and yeah, everybody pretty similar kind of impression, really. Everyone seemed to be milling around. Everyone was kind of, moderately sensible. Obviously, there was a few more York and Featherstone fans around at that time, rather than others. But yeah, it was the atmosphere was really good.
Good stuff. And then you got into the ground, and I mean, Cass fans will say there was more Cass fans, and Saints fans will probably say there was more Saints fans. But what was the atmosphere like inside the ground, sort of as the 1895 Cup was being lifted, and then it started to get taken over by Saints and Cass songs, didn't it?
Yeah, I think I couldn't tell how many of each team was there. To be honest, we did have our kind of separate ends, but I suspect quite a lot of people were just getting tickets around halfway or wherever they could find a ticket at a certain point in time. It felt pretty even. I think, to be honest, I didn't really notice more of one set of fans or the other, but yeah, just
no. I'd say it was pretty even. I mean, I was in the Cass end, obviously.
Of course you were.
But
See, the secret's out.
I bought my ticket in December. I mean, I can't be accused of not even who would be in which end. But yeah, I mean, from my perspective, it looked pretty even. So yeah, I don't think anyone particularly has the bragging rights one way or the other.
And James, how were you feeling in the build up to kick off? You went into this as favourites. Were you confident?
I was confident that we have the better team, right? So if we perform to our best standard and Cass perform to their best standard, then Saints would run out winners. But over the last few years, maybe not the last couple, but going back to that Warrington Challenge Cup final a few years ago, and some of the grand finals we've seen in the past, I've seen Saints underperform in finals on a number of occasions and semi-finals recently as well.
Yeah.
So there was always something in the back of the mind that actually if Cass turn up and we bottle it a bit, and to be honest, the first half got me quite concerned that we were doing that. It was it was there for Cass to win. So kind of.
We'll touch on the key points of the match in a second. I think just before we get to the actual match, maybe because both of you guys were in the stadium, I was at home watching this time around. I'm ducking the big events until I'm double jabbed. In the build-up, obviously, there's great tradition around the Challenge Cup final. One of the greatest traditions, one that moves us all pretty much every time, is Abide With Me, and then the national anthem. Now, even bad renditions of Abide With Me get me emotional, is how I would lead into it. How did it come across in the stadium?
For me, I think it, to be honest, the point. So I was emotional at 2 points during the day. One was right at that point after Abide With Me and the players were out and we were about to get started, and the other was right at the end. So I think. I don't know if anyone else was, but I was shedding a quiet tear under my sunglasses, Mark, at the end of Abide With Me, because it was quite emotional to be in a crowd of people after the last kind of 16 months or so, and seeing Saints and the atmosphere and people just enjoying themselves. Everyone in that stadium was happy to be there and just having a great time, and I haven't seen that in a group of people probably for a considerable amount of time. So yeah, I don't know how it was for you, Alan, but it was for me emotional anyway.
It's always a special thing for me. Always has been. And I have to say I was slightly disappointed. Maybe it was just the people who were around me. I just didn't get the sense that anyone around me understood anything about it as a song or indeed as a tradition. Nobody around me was singing. It seemed like an age for people to actually stand up. It was more of like a bit of a few people stood up and then it was like, oh, I should be standing at this point, shouldn't I, type thing. So for me, it's a big thing for me. I enjoyed the tradition of it, and I didn't not enjoy it because of this, but I did feel kind of like I was slightly on my own in terms of singing it and trying to carry it locally around me, I suppose. It just felt a little bit like people didn't know what it was.
Well, I mean, I got a little bit of a sense that the lady from Mystique who was singing it didn't quite understand what it was either, unfortunately.
Well, it didn't have Mystique shouted in the middle of it. That's the trouble. But you need a bit of an Alicia Dixon rap in the middle. That might have worked for it. But for me, it just felt slightly disappointing, just in terms of other people around me not really understanding it. I don't think.
Yeah. And maybe didn't get the with the amount of people in there, I mean, I was fully wrapped up in my own emotions at the time. I think everyone was stood up around me and having a go at